how to plant sugar snap peas in just 3 easy steps. Sugar snap peas are a great thing to grow when the weather is cooling down. You can grow them in the fall, in the spring, or if you live in a temperate climate, you can grow them through the entirety of winter. Sugar snap peas are so good to eat straight from the vine. They're also pretty pricey at the grocery. I don't know if you've checked recently. Last time I was at the store, there's like this little plastic bag of sugar snap peas, and it was like, I don't know, $5 or $6. That's not even gonna feed me, much less me and my family. So it's a great thing to grow in the kitchen garden, and I'm gonna show you how to plant them. The first thing is actually not included in the 3 steps, but buy great seeds. So seed quality really matters, especially when you're growing something like sugar snap peas. Not sponsored, but I do love the seed from Botanical Interests. I also love the sugar snaps from High Mowing Organic and from Baker Creek. You also want to make sure you're buying the right varieties. For this kind that I'm planting, I want to buy the vining type. That means a type that's going to grow up a trellis at least 4, 5, 6 feet tall in the air. I find I get a lot of production on those vines, and I like the taste better. But if you don't want to use a trellis, then you want to pay attention and make sure you buy a variety that doesn't trellis, that doesn't vine, and that would be one like this. This is actually called a sugar daddy. Hello. This is actually like a hybrid kind of pea. I did a podcast episode about this. This guy, this grower, this farmer found a way to hybridize snow peas and like pea peas. I mean, you know, like field peas. So he put them together so that you could eat the whole thing. I think it's called mange tout. It's French for eat everything. So they wanted a mange tout version for the American, or I don't know if it's American, but for the pea. So he hybridized, he put them together. He took the quality of the snow pea, which is the mange tout quality, and he put it together with the growing system, I guess, of like a field pea. I think I got that right. Anyway, that's how we got the sugar snap pea. And then the sugar daddy is a variety off of the sugar snap pea that doesn't vine. So if you have like a little container pot, or if you don't want to bother with trellising, then you want to make sure you get a non-vining variety. They don't always say this, but sometimes up here they'll say vine variety, pole variety. That's another way they say it, or indeterminate. This one didn't, unfortunately. So even this morning as I was getting ready for this video, I had to double check. And this one says the short plants reach only 24 to 30 inches. And then this one on the back says vines tolerate heat, grow climbing 6 foot to 8 foot vines on poles or a trellis. So boom, sometimes it's in the fine print. Why do they do that to us? Don't they know we're like trying to figure out how to garden and we need all the help we can get? So that's not even included in the 3 steps, but obviously you got to buy some good seeds. The first step after that step is to soak them. And I have this gorgeous Pyrex measuring cup from my grandmother to display this. So you don't have to do this, but I don't know about you, I found that growing peas, I don't always have the most success with them germinating. Germinating is just a fancy word that means the seed sprouts and opens up. And so this is supposed to help speed that along. Peas have this seed coat that protects them. Almost all seeds, I think all seeds, you can tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think most seeds have a seed coat. Oh, this is so cool. You're gonna be able to see it come off. So the seed coat basically is protecting the seed from like winter, whatever's going on. The seeds are so smart. They're trying to like keep themselves alive, keep themselves protected so they don't sprout at the wrong time. They have these really cool seed coats that are thicker than you'd find in some other plants. So I'm gonna peel this off. Y'all don't say anything about my fingernails, okay? I know. So do you see that? So cool, right? So if you can soak off this seed coat, then you've just sped up the germination process. So now water, nutrients, everything has to penetrate less because you've gotten that seed coat off. Generally they say soak them for 12 hours or 24 hours. These only have been soaking for a couple hours, and you can see how effective it is. So that's just part of the process of getting seeds to germinate, is getting their seed coat off. So that's step 1, is to soak your seeds. And you'll start to see them swell up a little bit too. What makes a seed swell, what makes a seed germinate, is it fills and fills and fills and fills with water so much that it literally bursts. That water activates the cells growing and multiplying, and that's what causes this seed to burst open and to give you a little pea shoot. So fun. Step 1 is to soak the seed and to try to get the seed coat to start to come off. Step number 2 is to dig a trench. The first thing I said with getting seeds to germinate is water. You need a lot of water, and we need these to continue to be soaking in water. But the next key thing with germinating seeds is depth. A lot of beginner gardeners will often make the mistake, myself included, and that is burying the seed too deep. When you bury a seed too deep, you basically are giving it way too much work to have to do before it reaches the surface. Seeds need to be buried to a certain depth, right? But not too deep. If the seed is so deep down in the soil, what will happen is that it'll start to germinate, right? It'll start to fill with water and burst open. But if that shoot does not reach sunlight within a certain period of time, it's gonna just die out because it needs sunlight to go to the next level. Water brings it to the first bursting open level, and then sunlight brings it to the next level. If it doesn't hit sun before a certain period of time, generally in a couple of hours or days, that was vague, right? It will often die out. What I do is just take a little dipper and dig a trench. General rule you want to keep for a seed, don't bury it more than 2 times the width of the seed. Generally, I don't want, this is the width, it's probably not even half an inch. The most I'd want to bury this is about an inch down in the trench. Inch in the trench. So I'm going to dig my little trench, and what I like to do is place all my seeds before I cover them up. That way I can be sure that I space them correctly. Now I'm probably breaking the spacing rules a little bit. I love to do that. Not too terribly. So I'm putting these probably about 2 inches, 3 inches apart, something like that. These are all going to vine up the trellis, and I know from experience that these will do really well. So now that's step 2, is to dig the trench and put them in place. And now we're just simply gonna cover them up. I like to go ahead and I'll use the soaking water. I like to go ahead and get them started. Remember, water is super important with activating those seeds to germinate. Fill that trench up with water, and then I'm just going to lightly cover it up. Now, if you had some straight compost, right now would be a great time to put that right on top. And that is it. So 3 steps: soak your seeds, dig a trench, not too deep, not too shallow, cover them up, water it in, and then your homework is every single day for the next 2 weeks, you want to add a little bit of water to this space. You don't want to drown it, but you do not want it to dry out. You want those seeds to feel so much water surrounding them that they continue to swell and germinate. So keep it well watered for the next 2 weeks. You should start to see shoots within, let's see what it says, 5 to 10 days is your days to emerge. So if you don't start to see seedlings start to come up within, I would say 7 or 8 days, then I usually come back in and I replant to try again. That's 3 ways to plant sugar snap peas. I hope that you'll try it out this season. I'm crossing my fingers that mine works. I'll be back in another video to show you how it turns out. Thanks for watching.